I hid embarrassing notes in my house as a joke because I know my fiance's mom snoops. My fiance Jake's mom Caroline has always been nosy as hell. Every time she comes over, I catch her opening cabinets, peeking in drawers, and once I even found her going through my bathroom medicine cabinet. Jake kept making excuses for her, saying she just likes to keep things organized, but I knew better. So I came up with what I thought was a harmless prank. I wrote these ridiculous fake notes and hid them around the house where I knew she'd find them. Stuff like a grocery list that said pregnancy test, lube, handcuffs, cat food, and a fake diary entry about how I was secretly terrible at cooking and just ordered takeout and transferred it to my own pots when Jake came home. Really dumb stuff that would make her think twice about snooping. I even wrote this over-the-top love letter to myself from some made-up ex named Brad, talking about our wild Vegas weekend and how he missed my amazing flexibility. I taped it inside my jewelry box because I knew she always looked in there. The plan seemed perfect. Caroline came over for Sunday dinner like always, and I watched her disappear into the bathroom for way too long. When she came back, her face was all red and she kept giving me these weird looks. I was trying so hard not to laugh, but then Jake got a text that night after she left. His mom wanted to have a serious family meeting the next day. I figured she was just embarrassed about getting caught snooping and wanted to apologize. Boy, was I wrong. The next evening, Jake's whole family showed up at our house. His dad, his sister Emma, even his grandma who never leaves her house. They all looked super serious, and Caroline had this folder in her hands. She slammed the folder on our coffee table and said she had some very disturbing information about me that Jake needed to know before we got married. My stomach dropped when I realized what was in that folder. She pulled out every single fake note I'd written, plus some real stuff she'd found while snooping. She had my old birth control packets, some random receipts, even a shopping list from 3 months ago. She'd been collecting evidence for who knows how long. Caroline started reading my fake love letter out loud to everyone, talking about how I was clearly cheating on Jake with this Brad person. Jake's grandma gasped and clutched her chest like she was having a heart attack. His sister kept shaking her head and muttering about how she never trusted me. I tried to interrupt and explain it was all fake, but Caroline just kept going. She brought up the pregnancy test from my fake grocery list and started demanding to know if I was trying to trap Jake with a baby. Then she found the fake diary entry about the cooking and went on this whole rant about how I was lying to her son about basic domestic skills. The worst part was when she pulled out my actual therapy appointment card that she'd found in my purse. She started telling everyone I was mentally unstable and hiding my psychological problems from Jake. That's when I finally lost it. I stood up and yelled that she had no right to go through my personal stuff and that half the things she found were fake notes I planted because I knew she was a nosy snoop. But nobody believed me. They thought I was just trying to cover my tracks. Jake's dad stood up and said they couldn't support our marriage if I was going to be dishonest and unstable. His grandma started crying and asking where they went wrong raising Jake. Even Jake was just sitting there looking confused and hurt, not defending me at all. Caroline declared that the wedding was off and they were taking Jake home with them until he came to his senses. She gathered up all her evidence and marched out, with the rest of the family following behind her. Jake stayed behind, but he was furious. He said he couldn't tell what was real and what was fake anymore, and that he needed time to think. He went to stay at his parents' house that night. For the next week, Caroline kept calling Jake with new evidence she'd remembered finding. She told him I had a secret credit card, which was actually just my old student ID she'd found in a drawer. She said I was hiding money from him because she found $20 in my winter coat pocket. Every little normal thing became proof that I was this master manipulator. Jake's family started calling my friends and relatives, warning them about my true nature. Caroline even called my job and tried to get me fired by telling my boss I was a pathological liar. Thankfully, my boss thought she was crazy and hung up on her. The wedding got postponed indefinitely. Jake said he loved me but needed to rebuild trust, which was ridiculous since I hadn't actually done anything wrong. All our vendors had to be canceled, we lost deposits, and I had to return my dress.